Joe Dark was standing with his knife raised over the
Liberal use of Thunderbolt sound effects here.
At that moment, instinct took
The
over.
little
I ran as hard as I could.
little
Joe
film
Dark
noir
and the knife in my
flashbacks
face,
are
but it was too
I
late
think
to
a
save
welcome
Marshall.
addition.
I like the fact that, you know, the way it works like it's in the game is the stuff that she sees is the stuff that you see, which is when the lightning's striking and the lights illuminating everything.
Yeah.
In between that, it's very difficult to work out exactly what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, all those bits which are in black and white and allegedly at night time were filmed in full daylight. So, sorry to spoil that for people, but yeah, I just want to say that so that I can then say how pleased I am that the lighting effects I added in actually do make it look darker and more sinister.
The detective who interviewed you clearly had a shortage of scrap paper.
Ah, yes.
Oh yay for incompetent police. Had he not, had they not had a scrap paper that day, could have been completely different.
Yeah.
Of course, I like the scene because it sort of brings Edgeworth and Phoenix together again, and they've both got separate parts of the evidence list, and they must combine,
Yes, it's
unite,
like that magic triangle in the Tomb Raider film.
become a Power Ranger Zord or something.
Oh, I'm sure Michael will appreciate that.
Yeah.
And the drawing that you can see on the back of the page there was done by myself. Good, isn't it? Okay, let's move on.
Our art skills are not prevalent at all.
Mhm.
It's a good thing it was meant to just be a little scribble sketch thing. I'm pretty sure the detective who was interviewing would have been the same.
Mm.
One of them holding a knife, and you naturally assumed that he was Joe Dark.
Yeah.
What if it
Mr.
wasn't?
Wright, who else could it have been?
One of the few times where I'm completely happy with the length of my hair. I think it's long enough that it has that little flick back up at the end, but it's short enough that it's not getting in my eyes.
The same one that Lana hid in Mr. Edgeworth's car exhaust.
You're right. This knife was found at the scene of the crime. But you see, Neil Marshall's autopsy report confirms that he was killed by a single stab wound. And when we add this to the equation, we find ourselves with a contradiction.
Contradiction, the word of Phoenix Wright.
This is the tip of Joe Dark's knife, which was
Yeah,
found
well,
in
that's how all the plays are made in the video game. Gant's so relaxed now. He's at his ease completely.
He's just watching things happen.
Lounge position.
Should be whole.
Then the witness must have been mistaken in what she saw.
That's the simple explanation, Your Honor, but I'd prefer to think outside the box a little.
Yeah, the simple explanation she was mistaken, but we're just going to do the ridiculously overcomplicated nonsense explanation because this is Phoenix Wright.
Uh-huh. I love the cheerful expression on Danny's face when she pulled out that photo. Ta-da!
Every coat and bag in Phoenix Wright is a TARDIS unto itself.
Yes.
Brilliant! The King of Prosecutors trophy!
Which Marshall was given that very day. It's not unreasonable to assume he was still carrying it when he encountered Dark. Would someone please explain?
Oh, the
another
judge.
another thing that Drew does very well, befuddlement.
Which is good for the judge as well.
No one knows
Yeah.
what happened to that knife.
No one knows what happens to the knife.
I also think, returning back to the fact that we ended up with a wooden trophy, that the knife turned out much better and more sturdy
Oh yes.
when it was made of wood.
Before picking a fight with Dark, he must have detached
Ooh,
himself to defend himself.
look at Steve there putting so much effort into removing that knife.
The blue tacked knife.
Yes,
Mr. Marshall.
Yes, and then we know it's the other way round.
the old switcheroo.
Superb at self-defense.
Indeed, the idea that Dark got the upper hand in a fight against Marshall has always been widely disputed.
But if that's true, the man I slammed into was...
I'm afraid so.
It's quite a sad moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it becomes even more exciting when you realise exactly what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I mean, this comes right back to why we chose to do this Phoenix Wright story as a feature-length film. It's got everything. It's
Oh,
got,
yes.
I believe, the best mystery in the entire of the first Phoenix Wright game. It's got the best and most emotional story, although episode 4, the one before it, does come pretty close.
I will say though, there are a lot of other cases which I do like better. But think about it: if you want us to do something like Bridge to a Turnabout, the last case of the third game,
Yes, as
You
some people
find
have
us-
suggested.
you find us a bridge that we are perfectly allowed to go and burn down and jump off, and
Yes.
then you know,
Incidentally, I'll be the one jumping off it.
it's that bloody thing again. It's the blue badger. I love the blue badger so much. I'm so happy to see it make its comeback here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Mr.
Here, it's made its comeback in the game several
yes.
times now.
That's true. It's everywhere. It's in the new Edgeworth game as well. It's like,
Yes.
oh, what?
So you see, we juxtaposed the design of the blue badger from the game and created our own by having our own jar.
Yep, that's how it works.
Because we changed the shape of the jar, we had to change the shape of the blue badger's head in order to accommodate for it.
Unless it happened the other way round.
I think I should confess at this point a love of snapping my fingers.
I love the way you snap your fingers and do objections in the one sort of swoop. That works really well.
Yeah. Ooh. See,
Lana knows. She
Lana's getting
knows.
antsy.
Confess to my crime. Take me into custody.
Miss Sky, you have been warned once.
I'm just gonna love the next bit when he shows the jar, and then everyone here can see how we worked it out. Oh no, this bit's brilliant.
Oh yes.
Watch Gant.
Everyone eyes on Gant now. Incoming. That was completely unscripted, and we thought it looked brilliant, so we kept it in.
It marked a point at which Gant wasn't so happy anymore. Come on, guys, give us some credit. That must have been to try and find a jar that matches a badger.
Any idea how long it took me to get that jar at the exact right angle, holding it so that we could overlay the face? And that shot there,
Yes.
the falling shot, that took ages.
We had to make sure we didn't break the jar either, because then we had to
Yeah,
refilm something.
we had to have Steve sitting or lying on the floor or something underneath it, holding his hands out to catch it, and a cushion underneath that.
And here we go. Jar, ornamental sword. I'll say I bought that about
yes.
2 or 3 years ago from pretty much this date actually. Almost got arrested for carrying it around with me once until I managed to prove it was ornamental as opposed to an actual weapon.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you didn't have it confiscated.
It's still an absolutely lethal thing though, because obviously we use guards apart from shots like that. But some of the cast members being quite into anything that looks cool took the guards off and proceeded to try and mess around with it. And I'm pretty sure Peter stabbed himself with it at one point. if
I
remember
think
correctly.
he did. I surreptitiously managed to cut one of my fingers on it, just out of curiosity.
It is genuinely, probably impalable onto somebody. That's why we had guards on it most of the time.
Yeah. When we say guards, we mean plastic covers to
Oh,
stop
no,
the
we
blades
didn't
being
have-
shot. We didn't have a full security force.
That would have been even more ridiculous.
Yeah.
Here you go. You pretty much just placed yourself right between Edgeworth and Phoenix.
Yeah.
You ain't getting away.
Well, he is for now, but he'll be
Oh
back.
yeah, no, he
He'll
comes
be
back.
No, that's the other thing that this story does twice, where where very few other Phoenix Wright stories even do it once, is the build up to an almost victory, only to discover that in fact you've been falling
Set up,
into a trap.
yes. It's quite an emotional moment for Emma,
Yeah.
realizing she's just killed somebody that she revered until now as her savior. Well, he was her savior,
Mhm.
and she went and killed him at the same point.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Mike Meekins. He wasn't actually originally in this point in the game.
No, but neither are most of the other characters who are about to appear.
This is
Basically,
a nice addition that we added to this, I think.
Yes. This scene was written, well, it was already written, and then we organised to film it on a day when we happened to have, by luck of chance, virtually the entire main cast of the film. And so I just thought I cannot miss this opportunity to include them all at the moment just before the finale.
It made a lot of sense, because if you think about how long this case is compared to other Phoenix Wright cases, it is ridiculously long. There's a lot of characters that all have their part to play, one
And-
way or another.
Yeah, and because of that, and because as a movie it can be, it is intended to be watched in one sitting, I thought to have major characters like Angel Starr and well, in fact particularly Angel Starr, but Jake Marshall as well to a certain extent, appear and then disappear right at and never be referred to again, and Mike Meekins, of course.
Yeah.
It just it didn't sit well with me, so
Yes,
I thought
here
we
they
had
are.
I thought we had to make sure and give them some focus, just to make sure that we knew that everyone was backing the right side.
I like the idea that Mike Meekins managed to wrangle some ability to get courtroom guard post, and then promptly at the end of this scene leaves it.
Mhm. Well, I mean, he had an ulterior motive for getting that post in the first place.
Don't go blaming yourself. So where have you two been all this time?
The trial's being shown by video link in the witness lounge upstairs.
Ah, yes.
I don't know if any trial would actually do that.
Of course.
Probably not, but we needed a means of them watching.
Sounded almost like you want Lana to go free.
Everything Lana's trying.
There it is. Yeah, Yasmin's still in character. You know, even when Angel Star is in support of the defense,
Yes.
she still can't quite act friendly.
But having seen the trial so far, I find myself having doubts, particularly in the behaviour of one Damon Gant.
See, that's the fantastic thing about Phoenix Wright. By this point, you must all have been certain, anyone who's watched it all the way through, have been certain that Gant was the guilty one.
Yes.
But that's not all there is to it. In Phoenix Wright, you don't just have to name the man. You have to prove it.
Exactly. And to be honest, Damon Gant was one of the biggest curveball U-turn decisions that the guilty party that there have been, because he was so helpful at the start.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe unnaturally helpful, but he's still really helpful until you realise he's only helping you make the conclusions as to proving your client's own guilt in the end.
Yeah.
And we have Gumshoe back as well.
Ah, yes. Here's where we finally get some payback on that relationship between Gumshoe and Edgeworth.
Oh yes.
You know, the one that's been only hinted at so far, because we've never seen them in the same scene yet. Ah, now here's a book cover that I put together myself.
I must say, I love this. This looked fantastically good.
Yeah, although I think we could have done a better shot of it there, because we never can quite see it properly at that point.
Why do you think she sent you that?
Well, if it's a joke, it's pretty badly timed.
Yes, I printed out the photo, the front cover myself on photo paper and stuck it on the front of one of my textbooks.
Because clearly Evidence Law for Dummies would be a lot smaller book.
Oh yes.
Don't you have reading to do?
I really don't think this is going to help.
This guy hasn't been helping much in this whole trial.
Then our next move is obvious.
Does anyone else spot the fact that Jamie has insanely long hair and has been tucking his ponytail down the back of his trench coat in every
all
scene?
have stupidly long hair at this point.
Yes.
Thanks.
Even oh no, Fraser had quite short hair by this point when he was the courtroom guard briefly, obviously bowing out to in favour of yourself. And off he goes.
Yep. He wastes no time in realising, hang on, I could get a better view from in the witness lounge. And
Exactly.
technically I'm a witness?
Yeah.
I guess he's technically a witness for this?
Well, none of them are technically a witness, but they, it's publicly available, we're assuming. But where is he? Is he hiding behind the couch? Who knows?
He's just late. He got lost probably.
Yes.
They would like to inform you that you are under intense scrutiny, and personally, I'm uneasy about letting you decide the court's next action.
In that case, Your Honor, I have an eloquent solution. But the defense...
So that's the one strange thing about Phoenix Wright. Why does the defense never normally get to call witnesses?
I think there's a reason for it, but I don't study law. So,
Hmm.
please, answers in the comments. Is there
Yes.
a reason that defense lawyers can't call witnesses, or is that just something that Phoenix Wright has invented?
Well, it might be the case in Japanese law, but in an American courtroom, you're most definitely allowed to call witnesses on either side, and in British law.
Maybe it is just Japanese law then. I don't claim to know anything about it.
Me neither.
Here we go. This is another little bit of REM music
Yes.
for the entrance of.
Yeah, so
Damon
apologise for the silence once again. But we just, if we don't take away the REM music, then the entire audio track gets taken away for the video, and that would spoil the entertainment for you good people.
Support Warner Brothers and music from Warner Brothers,
Yeah.
etc. I like the idea that everybody is watching this. It's
Yeah.
not just the people in the courtroom, it's everyone involved in the case upstairs as well.
Yeah. That does lend itself to the drama, the idea that there are more eyes on it.